compliance lapses or even perceived compliance lapses are having a huge impact now on businesses, and that's why part of this session that we've organized, we also talked about crisis management, because the thing is that if a compliance lapse gets into the public domain, you have a crisis on your hands. And so therefore, and I don't want to mention specific organizations, but we know the organizations that are going through issues right now, and it could be a lapse or it could be a perceived lapse. But compliance people now, I think, cannot just be reactionary. They now have to be thinking ahead, looking at what are the possible risks that the company can face, and try and plan against it and put policies in place. So I think the regulators also need to change their approach a little bit, because what they want is not to catch people out. What they want is for people to improve. So therefore, we have to look for ways that we can jointly improve, bring everybody up, rather than look at better ways to catch people out.
Yes, incentives are good, particularly in these days of digitalization, where there is need for speed in moving financial transactions and encouraging financial inclusion. There is need for the regulators, therefore, to craft regulation that will allow innovation to take place.
Corporate organizations must then begin to focus on having viable compliance strategy in place all across their various subsidiaries, if we're talking about multinationals, for instance, or even within a group, or even within a standalone organization. Corporate organizations must prepare to be compliant rather than wait to pay the penalty for non-compliance.
I think this is timely because as we prepare for 2019, we've seen that businesses need to be more aware of their obligations in terms of compliance and where there have been breaches, what they need to do in order to avoid legal liability.